May the 4th be with you. That would have been far more effective if I bothered to put the batteries in this lightsaber. Anyway, Clone Wars Season 7. Oh dear goodness, it's epic. Let's talk about it.
The Jedi and the Republic will die.
Welcome to Durbania. I'm Durbin, and this is my spoiler-free review for the final season of The Clone Wars. Now, this is a spoiler-free review for Season 7, the final season, but I will be dropping spoilers from some of the other seasons, so I'm just letting you know that right now, right off the bat, and this is really, I just watched all the Season 7 episodes, and so this is my fresh reaction after just watching those final 4 episodes. And honestly, it's because of those final 4 episodes that I'm giving Season 7 an A. I would probably go A+, but here's kind of what keeps it from A+. So you have Season 5 and Season 6, and the subject matter that they dealt with in Season 5 and 6 was so good and done so well, it was better than most of the movies. It was just incredible what they did in Season 5 and in Season 6. Freaking believable. That whole plot line of Yoda learning how to talk to Qui-Gon Jinn and understanding where he's going to learn how to maintain his shape as a Force Ghost afterward. Dealing with that stuff, and as they, start dealing with Order 66 even in those seasons, it's wow, the closer they got to Revenge of the Sith, the more epic that show became. It was so unbelievably good. And so going into Season 7, that's what I'm looking for right off the bat, and I didn't get that right off the bat. I'm not saying it was bad. I'm just saying the storylines they picked that kicked off the season didn't feel like final season storylines. Like the Bad Batch, I thought that was a cool storyline. I like the clones. It's cool to see the different types of clones that exist. And so that was kind of an interesting storyline that took up the first couple episodes. But since they're, dropping 1 week at a time and not binging, it takes a while to get through that. So it felt like it took a while. And it really felt like those episodes belonged in Season 6 or Season 5. It just felt like it should have happened a little bit earlier in the show. And maybe it should have. Maybe there's reasons why they put it here because they really wanted to tell the story. It's a good storyline. It didn't feel like final season epicness. And then the whole storyline where Ahsoka finds those sisters and goes through this whole story with her. And I understand the actual importance of the character arc for Ahsoka. And kind of, since she left the Jedi Order in Season 5 and was very, very disillusioned by their hypocrisy. And, this is kind of her story arc of understanding what the Jedi could be, the inspiration they could have for the people. And so I understood the purpose of those episodes. They just weren't super epic, and again, weren't feeling like final season-ish. But they did lay the groundwork, so they're very much worth watching, and kind of you need to watch it because it does lay the groundwork and the foundation necessary to launch us into the final 4 episodes of Season 7 of The Clone Wars. And now that's where I want to spend all my time, because I'm telling you, these final 4 episodes were like a flippin' movie. I mean, number one, I binged all 4 of these final 4 episodes back to back to back. I mean, I watched the first 3 as they aired, but when this 4th one dropped, man, I just went through all 3 of them today, and it really feels like a movie. Not just because I watched them that way, but because of just the storytelling, because of the musical score. It just felt like a real Star Wars movie. It felt like the Star Wars movie we've all been wanting, that we've all been waiting for. To me, it felt like this is it. This is that Star Wars movie. I flippin' loved it. One of my favorite things about it is it's running parallel to the events of Revenge of the Sith. That was a smart choice on their part. I thought things would build up to the beginning of that movie, but making it run parallel to the events that were going on, but showing it from Ahsoka's perspective and where Ahsoka is at is absolutely amazing. Because as I've been watching Clone Wars, she's quickly become one of my favorite Jedis. I was really sad when she left the Jedi in Season 5, and so I was really excited that they brought her back in this season and how they used her in this season and how they showed where she was at and showing us these events through her perspective, epic. And then the way they brought Maul, Darth Maul back into this. The way they took Darth Maul's journey and Ahsoka's journey and they tied them together in these 4 episodes. The lightsaber fights, all the lightsaber fights were absolutely fantastic. Again, it's all that stuff in Star Wars that we've been wanting. The deep story, the battle between good and evil, these excellent lightsaber fights. It was present here. Plus the epic characters that we've grown to know, Ahsoka and Maul. It just gave it that much more impact as we're sitting here and watching these events and watching this action and watching all of this unfold. It was just so well done. One of the other factors in this that made it so great was the musical score. It was not the musical score of a TV show. This was a cinematic musical score. And it was like a character all by itself. I'm telling you, there were scenes where I just, if I wasn't so invested in the story, I could have just closed my eyes and listened to the score and kind of let the sorrow in the score just tell me the story, or the feeling of impending doom that was in the score. They just did an amazing job with that element. It added to the atmosphere of what was going on. Like, we, as the viewer, having seen Revenge of the Sith, we know Anakin's about to turn. We know that it's coming. But the way they took this music and used it in these 4 episodes, it built that sense of doom so well. It made this animated show feel even bigger than it was. The animation was beautiful in this. Like, the animation was so well done that I feel like you could see emotion on their face. You could understand what they're feeling. So when Anakin and Ahsoka are reunited, it was such a powerful moment and a really cool parallel when you look at the Clone Wars, that movie that came out a while back, and he was not excited about the idea of having a Padawan, somebody that he was going to have to train, to this deep, meaningful relationship where after all these years in the trenches together, like, he misses her. He's so sad that she's gone, and now she shows up, and he's so happy. And so, like, you get this amazing sense in Anakin of, like, joy, but impending doom. And you see the battle of dark and light done really well. And that's what I liked about seeing Anakin here, especially in this first episode of these last 4 episodes, because what you see is what we were missing in the whole prequel trilogy, is actually seeing him comfortable in the Force, seeing him comfortable in his power. Like, those were really cool moments when that 4th to last episode opened and we see Anakin on the battlefield casually dodging laser blast. This is not the whiny kid that we had in episode 2. This has now become a character that means something to us. And as we kind of see that battle of light and dark that has developed in him throughout the entire Clone Wars series up to this moment, like, it gives you that, I don't want you to turn, man. Oh, I don't want you to turn. And so they gave you that thing that I just feel like we were missing in the prequels. And even now when I go back to Revenge of the Sith, because I watched a little bit of that today too, he does have a little bit of that whiny element still there. But the thing is, you notice it even more when you go from Attack of the Clones to Revenge of the Sith. But when you take that time to watch the Clone Wars, watch Anakin and Obi-Wan grow closer together, watch Anakin change as he trains this Padawan Ahsoka and turns her into a very powerful Jedi, and the lessons he learns just by training her. Like, it's so cool to see this character at the beginning of this 4th last episode comfortable in his power and comfortable in the Force, and it makes it all the more tragic when he finally turns. So as these events are happening parallel to Revenge of the Sith, you're like, I don't want that moment to come. The next moment that finally came was Order 66. Now, I don't want to get too much into it, but if you watch the Clone Wars, you know it's coming. You've seen Revenge of the Sith, you know it's coming. What I will say is how it's dealt with in this show, it's not disappointing. It's deep, it's emotional. It had Laura, my wife, and myself just sitting on the edge of our seats like, wow, this is heavy. You felt the emotion of it, because I've been wondering that the whole way through the Clone Wars, like, once I start learning actual names of the clones and connecting personalities to those names. Rex, obviously became one of my favorites. Fives was my other favorite. So like you just suddenly get attached to these clones and their personalities, and it's like, how could they turn on the Jedi? And as we learn in the show how it's possible that they could turn, and then finally when that moment actually happens here in season 7, it has the emotional weight that you expect it to have, having watched the show and building up to that. So solid A for sure. Season 7 you definitely need to check out. The whole show, including the okay movie at the beginning, is definitely worth your time to watch and binge on Disney Plus, just to get to these final 4 episodes that are better than most of the movies. Not the original trilogy, of course. So, what did you think of these final 4 episodes of The Clone Wars? What did you think of this whole season? Let's talk about that in the comments. While you're there, hit that subscribe button to become a Durbanian, and hit that bell by the subscribe button so you're notified the next time I drop a movie review, ranking video, theological analysis, or anything else I do here. I'm Durbin. May the 4th be with you.